All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about something out there, deep in space, that seems to be completely breaking the rules of physics as we know them. It's a cosmic mystery that has scientists asking some very uncomfortable questions. And this quote, it really just sets the whole scene, doesn't it? It's not just that we found something new. It's that we found something that, according to our own universal rulebook, shouldn't even be possible. And that's a really unsettling place for science to find itself. So just picture this for a second. You point humanity's greatest telescopes up at the sky, expecting to chart the cosmos, make sense of it all, but instead, you find an object so massive, so weird, that its very existence is a complete paradox. Well, that's pretty much exactly what happened. So where did this all begin? Well, it actually started pretty quietly, almost by accident. Astronomers were just doing their thing, scanning a distant corner of our galaxy, cataloging stars. Most stars, they're predictable. They follow a life cycle we understand really well. But then, they found this one. Now this is what really gets to the heart of the problem. On one side, you've got your normal, everyday star. It's born, it shines for a while, it dies. It follows the rules. But then you have this, Anomaly. It's so unbelievably massive that physics says it should have gone supernova millions of years ago, and yet there it sits. And the craziest part? It's almost totally silent. And this is where it gets really strange. See, an object with that much mass should be an incredibly violent place, just constantly blasting out huge amounts of energy. But this thing, it's giving off nothing. No radiation, no stellar winds, not even a hint that it's about to collapse. The only thing we can detect is its massive gravitational pull on everything nearby. Okay, so what's the first thing you think of when you hear a massive object with huge gravity that gives off no light? A black hole, right? Of course. That's exactly what the scientists thought too. But the more they studied it, the less and less that made any sense at all. Naturally, the very first thought was, okay, our gear must be broken. A glitch in the system, a miscalculation, something simple. So they checked everything, then they checked it again. They used completely different telescopes, different methods. They even brought in teams from all over the world to double-check their work. And every single time, the answer was the same. This thing is real. So here's the deal. Why isn't it a black hole? Well, black holes are messy. They're like cosmic vacuum cleaners. They're loud, they're violent, they're chaotic, with stuff swirling around them like crazy. This object, though, is the total opposite. It's calm, almost unnaturally, disturbingly calm. So, with the most obvious answer thrown out the window, scientists had to start getting creative. I mean, if it's not a star and it's not a black hole, what in the world could it possibly be? And this is where the theories start to get really, really interesting. This was the question that kind of opened the floodgates. Some researchers started to wonder, maybe we're not just looking at a weird star. Maybe we're looking at something completely new, a type of cosmic object that doesn't fit into any of our neat little boxes. Maybe we actually need a new name for it altogether. So the first big theory on the table is that it's a failed star. The basic idea is that it's an object that somehow got stuck during its evolution. Like it's a star so massive that it absolutely should have collapsed into a black hole or exploded, but for some reason we can't explain, it just didn't. It's frozen in a state our models literally say is impossible. Okay, the second theory is even crazier. It suggests this thing could be a primordial object, like a fossil from the very dawn of time, something that formed way back in the super chaotic early universe, maybe when the laws of physics weren't even fully baked yet. A true ghost from the beginning of everything. Now, both of those theories are pretty mind-bending, but they at least still fit within the realm of natural cosmic events. But there was another idea, one that was mostly whispered about in hallways and labs, that took things to a whole other level. And there it is. A small group of scientists actually asked the question, what if its impossible stability isn't an accident? What if its incredible calm is intentional? Could we actually be looking at something that was made? Now, it is really, really important to understand what they meant by artificial here. They weren't talking about a giant spaceship or some kind of megastructure. No, the idea was way more subtle. They were suggesting it could be a process, something that is actively and intentionally keeping itself stable, preventing its own collapse, hiding right there in plain sight. In the end, this idea was pretty much dismissed by the mainstream scientific community. But here's the real kicker. They didn't dismiss it because they proved it was wrong. They dismissed it because there's just no way to test it. It's a hypothesis that's completely beyond what our science can even investigate right now, which, in a way, is almost more spooky. And so, that's where we are now. We're left in this state of deep uncertainty. The object is still out there, just sitting in the darkness. And honestly, the silence coming from it is deafening. For years now, the watch has continued, and the silence has been absolute. There have been no explosions. No signals of any kind have ever broken through that vast darkness between us and it. And absolutely no warning has come to tell us what it is or what it might one day decide to do. So this endless watch just goes on. Telescopes all over the planet are still pointed in its direction, just waiting for something, anything, to change. Will it finally collapse like physics says it should? Will it send out a signal, finally breaking that long silence? Or will it just disappear? And so far, the answer to every single one of those questions has been a loud nothing. I think this quote just captures it perfectly. It's a humbling, silent reminder that our map of the universe still has these huge, unexplored areas on it. It just goes to show you that maybe the biggest discoveries won't come with a giant explosion, but with a profound and deeply unsettling quiet. And that leaves us with the big question, which I'm going to turn over to you. Looking at everything we know, what do you think this thing really is? A 1 in a trillion cosmic accident? The first sign of a whole new law of physics we never knew existed? Or is it possible we've stumbled onto something else entirely? Let me know what you think.